Hello, and welcome to the Unauthorized History of the Pacific War podcast, who today and for the next 9 weeks will be expanding into the European theater, the 8th Air Force's Air War, the strategic bombing campaign over Germany and Europe in 1943 to 45, as Bill and I and another guest are going to reflect on the Masters of the Air miniseries airing on Apple TV Plus currently. Bill, this is a really big series that's coming up, and we feel that we need we're going to have something to say about this series for sure. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Seth, the resurgence of interest in World War II, sadly, I think, began in the late 90s with Saving Private Ryan. That expanded in the early 2000s with Band of Brothers. Then, of course, the Pacific was covered, when you had something to do with that. But if you would have asked me, even when I was a submarine officer, even before my CO days, what one of my favorite World War II movies was, it would have been 12 O'Clock High, Seth, which people find odd for a submariner, but it's just such a great leadership movie, not just a World War II movie. And, this is going to be, that on steroids because the team that's doing this, of course, Spielberg, Hanks, has such a good track record of making sure that their movie is faithful to the history, Seth, and hopefully you'll know something about that.
Yeah, it is the 8th Air Force. The European theater is not foreign to me for obvious reasons, but the 8th Air Force of the European theater, the 8th Air Force has always been my very favorite area of interest, and so I know a little bit about it. I was a member for a long time of the 100th Bomb Group Association. No surprise here. I knew a lot of the veterans of the 100th Bomb Group who took part in a lot of the missions that are going to be shown on this series, some of which are still alive today. Bob Wolf and John Luckadoo and people like that. And so we're going to be able to insert what we normally do, Bill, with all of our episodes, which is some of these personal aspects. Now, we're not going to go clarity, 100% transparency as always. We're not going to go into the depth of detail that we do with our Pacific show. It's just,
No.
yeah, we just don't have
Yeah.
the time.
We're right, because we're going to keep going with the cadence of the Pacific weekly episodes, and then we're going to drop little short, I say short, less than an hour, immediate reactions a few days after each of the 9 episodes airs. Now, the way this is going is January 26th, episode 1 and 2 air. Then they're one weekly until early March. So we're going to be watching the episodes. We're not going to do any research. Well, because we don't have time, because we're still doing the Unauthorized History of the Pacific War in parallel with all this. So we're just going to be reacting to the episode and then drop it, hopefully within a few days of the episode airing, as kind of special additional episodes. Way harder on us, but I hope you all enjoy it.
Yeah, you're 100% right in that. And that, I mean, will we do any research? We're going to do cursory research. We're not digging deep into, we're not, I'm not taking 17 pages of notes for each episode of Masters of the Air like we do when we do our regular shows. That's not going to happen, and nothing will drop off with our Pacific show. That's just going to keep on trucking down the line, just like you said. But we're going to tell you what's right and what's wrong with each of these episodes as they come along, what's accurate, what's not accurate, what they should have done, what they shouldn't have done, things like that. It's a little bit out of our wheelhouse, but not really that far, Bill. We've done this kind of thing before, so it'll be fun, and it'll be interesting because I've had a long interest in this series as it's been rumored to have been made for a decade now. So I'm looking forward to it myself.
Upon which it's based pretty well. I just met him, but you had a long relationship with him, right?
I still do. Yeah, Don Miller is a friend of mine, and I've known Don for 20 years. I've known Don for 20 years, and he and I were actually supposed to lead the National World War II Museum's first tour of 8th Air Force fields, which is a tour that they still offer, but I had a personal conflict and I could not do it. Regardless of this, Don is a good guy. He's still one of my friends, and I consider him, to an extent, one of my mentors, of which I've got several, but he fits in that category. So yeah, Don, this is all based off of Don's book of the same title, Masters of the Air, which is a fantastic book. But if you haven't read it, do so. But the 100th Bomb Group is probably the most famous 8th Air Force bombing group in their history, and this, they couldn't have chosen a better group, frankly, to focus on, because of the myriad of stories and characters that were actually in the group. A lot of them are going to be shown within this series, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be cool. So far, the snippets that we've seen, the CGI is unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's the great thing about technology. Even when they did the Pacific, the CGI wasn't, that's over a decade ago. Wasn't, now it's just eye-wateringly good. You're going to say that those are real airplanes, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. If you didn't know any better, you would swear. And I agree with you. It's going to be fun to watch. And we hope that you do enjoy these short little episodes. I say short, they're probably going to be between 45 minutes and an hour long episodes that we do. We have not decided when we're going to air them yet, because we're going to record them on Monday, and I'm going to do my dead level best to pump them out that Monday afternoon. At the very latest, it would be Tuesday afternoon following the episode. So keep your eyes on our channel. They will pop up on the Unauthorized History of the Pacific War YouTube channel, and the audio podcast drops too. We're going to form a separate playlist within the channel, so you can see just those if you want to, but they will be part of our drop for 9 weeks.
What I was going to say is a 45-minute review of a 45-minute the TV show, right? That's a long review. The review is almost as long as the show.
Right. And it may not all be that long. We might be able to get everything out that we need to get out in 30 minutes. We'll see. We hope it's something that you guys enjoy. Obviously we're Pacific War people, but there was a little bit of a conflict going on in Europe at the same dang time. So we thought you guys might enjoy hearing some of our thoughts on this series as it premieres and goes through. We're going to be an audience member just like the rest of you guys. So we hope y'all like it.
We will indeed. With that, we'll see you again next week.